Welcome everyone to day 19 of the 30-day redemption. I'm your host, Kashab. Today we have a great presentation on face, and this is part of the body segment of our 30-day redemption. So far we've done 10 days of mind. We have very speakers. We did 8 days of body. And of course the face is part of the body, so we're going to cover the face. In some of our future segments, we will do other parts of the body as well. But today we're going to focus on the face and the foundation in order for those who are interested in caring for their skin, whether you wear makeup or not. The skin segment and the face and the foundation will be beneficial to you. So jump in with us. Today we have our presenter, Yasmine Clement. She's going to take us on a journey on your face, the skin, and the foundation. She is an experienced makeup artist, and so make sure you take notes, and she's going to take us on this presentation so that we can learn more about how to take better care of ourselves. So Yasmine, join us. I am going to give you the mic. Take us on this journey, and I will guide you.
Sure.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hello. So, like Kashab spoke on, the skin is the largest, actually, organ of the body. So it makes up about 20 square feet of the body in total. So, you know, our skin is very important to us. It protects us from microbes and elements, and it helps to regulate the body's temperature, as well as it permits, you know, sensations like touch, heat, and cold. So I've been an industry standard makeup artist for over 18 years. And today I'm going to go over just different things about the skin. I'm going to go over 3 most important layers of the skin, as well as going over skincare and what I guess I wouldn't say like products that I feel like you should purchase or that you should use, but just things that I feel like everyone should put on as far as their daily regimens for their skin. I believe that your skin is the foundation of having beautiful makeup. So I will be going over that today. So the first slide is going to show the epidermis, the dermis, and the subtissue. So the epidermis is the top layer of your skin, and it's the only layer that is visible to the eyes. This is where the skin is the thickest, and it has different sublayers. There's about 5 sublayers that are in this little layer. Your epidermis is constantly shedding with dead skin cells from the top layer, and it replaces the top layer with newer and healthier cells that grow in each lower layer. So this is also the home to where your pores live, and it allows oils and sweat to escape. So the epidermis is the outermost layer of the skin, and it provides a waterproof barrier and creates our skin tone. So the skin's color is created by special cells called, which we like to call melanin, right? So it produces the pigment of melanin. So that's located actually in the epidermis, which is the top layer that you see there. So let's see, I am going to talk about, let's see, some conditions that sometimes that you will see on this top layer of the skin. So things that you may see on the top layer of skin could be anything from dandruff, eczema, any type of psoriasis, boils, birthmarks, acne, melanoma, which is like a form of skin cancer, and like cysts and ulcers. So the second layer, which is the dermis, is even thicker than the epidermis, as you can see. This is where it contains all the sweat and the oil glands. The hair follicles start in this layer. And it enables the function of pathogen protection that your body needs. So this kind of like protects, this is like the thickest layer that kind of protects your body. Since the dermis contains collagen and elastin, it also helps to support the structure of the skin that we see. With this layer, let's see, I'm actually not going to go over there. So as far as the sublayer, excuse me, the layer of skin beneath its dermis is sometimes called this subcutaneous fat. So with this layer, it provides insulation for the body. It keeps you warm, as well as it's like a cushion that works as a shock absorber for your organs. So this is the layer that blocks things from getting to your organs. So this is an extremely important layer. There are plenty of like blood vessels that are contained in this layer. And this layer attaches your skin to the muscles and tissue that's below it. So let's see. This layer can, this layer sometimes can be thicker in some parts of your body than others, and it tends to determine also where your genetics lie. So one thing that I wanted to speak about, I'm not sure what the demographic is of everyone that is on here, but skincare and especially sunscreen is very important to the skin. So applying sunscreen all year round, keeping your skin hydrated is also something that is extremely important, and making sure that your diet includes a lot of different vitamins. The most important vitamins that are essential to your skin are like vitamin A, C, E, and K. So for vitamin A's, like the best foods I would say to eat for vitamin A would be things like sweet potato, tuna, spinach, lettuce, broccoli, carrots, squash, cantaloupe, bell peppers, especially the red bell peppers, and grapefruit. For vitamin C, I would say the top 10 items for vitamin C, of course, everyone knows, like lemon, oranges, papaya is a great vitamin C fruit, sun-dried tomatoes, black currant, green chili pepper, as well as green bell pepper, and let's see, I'm not sure if I said guava, but guava and Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. So vitamin E, some of those top things to eat for vitamin E would be like almond, trout. I would say most of the good fats. So avocado, sunflower seeds, so things that contain a lot of oil to them. Those are really great for vitamin E. Extra virgin olive oil, Atlantic salmon, shrimp, Swiss chard. Those are items that I believe contain the highest percentage of vitamin E in them. And then vitamin K is where you're going to find your rich leafy greens. This is where they live. Things like kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, pickled cucumbers, asparagus, kiwi, okra, and green beans. Some people call them snap beans. So let's see. So it's with the going back to sunscreen. Sunscreen, I believe I wear a very high level of sunscreen. One thing that people do not know is that I would say every 4 to 4 hours that you are outside, you should be applying another level of sunscreen. Your sunscreen does stop working after a certain amount of time. I wear like a level 50 sunscreen just because, you know, I think about, as a woman of color myself, I do not like to have hyperpigmentation on my face and body, and I'm going to get color anyway. So I feel like this kind of protects me from on my epidermis level of my skin, so I don't have any type of burning, because we still do burn regardless. So sunscreen is extremely essential. Next slide. So I actually added this slide because a lot of times people believe that acids are not good for the skin. So I have this list on here, and I know that all of you guys are able to go actually back on and look at the different types of acids that like what they do and what skin types are best for them. I also apply this slide because a lot of times I've been asked questions about skincare and people wanting to know which acids are best for their type of skin. So I believe, especially because a lot of us have different, you know, skin types, it's best for you to actually be able to see which one is best for you. So of course there is oily skin, And the way that you know that you are oily, of course, is what does your skin actually feel like after you wash and cleanse your skin. A lot of people just think it's just because of what their skin looks like. It looks shiny. Sometimes that can be an indicator, but a lot of times people do have surface dehydration, which causes the skin to overproduce oils and makes it appear as if you're oily, but it could just be on the surface level. Normal skin, of course, has a little bit of slip to it. It doesn't give a tight feeling. Now, dry skin, when you wash your face, usually you have a very tight, almost itchy, burning feeling after your skin is cleansed. So those are the ways that usually you can tell to the touch on yourself whether or not you are normal, dry, or oily. So let's see. I wanted to go over, let's see, different types of spa treatments that I believe are great purposes. So chemical peels, I think, are amazing. They can improve the skin's appearance in the treatment. The solution, chemical peel is basically a solution that's applied to the skin, which makes it almost blister and eventually peel off. The new skin is usually smoother and less wrinkled than the older skin. Chemical peels can be done on the face, neck, as well as the hands. So the purpose of chemical peels are to reduce fine lines under the eyes and under the mouth, treat wrinkles caused by sun damage and aging, improving the appearance of mild scarring. So if, for example, you have hyperpigmentation on the skin or anything like age spots, freckling, dark patches that are due to pregnancy, which they call that melasma. So that's kind of like these almost birthmark discoloration that's on the skin that most, people who do get melasma are usually pregnant, or they receive it after or during pregnancy, or after taking birth control pills. So this does help to improve the look and the feel of the skin. Generally, fair skin to light haired patients are usually the best candidates for chemical peels, but there's been some advancements, and women of color in different skin tones are able to get peels. It's just, I believe that you should go to a doctor who somewhat looks like you, so that way she understands for the most part. And when I say looks like you, someone who is in your ethnicity, so that way they understand your skin and know how far of a level that they can take your skin with the chemical peels. If you have darker skin, you may also have really great results, depending upon, of course, the type of problem that you're being treated. So if it's something that can be treated. But just so you are aware, chemical peels, if they are done, if they're done incorrectly, then you can actually reverse the problem and actually have worse scarring. So facials. Facials, I think, are extremely important. I love facials for a lot of different reasons. And I know I've had the opportunity to be a part of the 30-day program that we're doing here. And one thing that I feel like it does, besides just the obvious of your skin, mind, the facial for me is something that I feel like it's a beauty regimen that kind of helps to relax me. So for me, I think it's extremely relaxing. I think everybody should get them. A facial is one of the best ways to take care of your skin. It is a multi-step skin treatment. It cleanses, exfoliates, and nourishes the skin, promoting a clear, well-hydrated complexion that can help your skin look younger. And I believe that facials help the process along of when you're getting regular treatments, it'll keep your skin clear, clean, and toned. So the benefits of facials are always going to be the reduce of stress, like I said, and it'll relieve psychological distress, which I think is great. Something about getting service, I think, and just being in that spa environment just kind of helps to help people relax and to release stress. Cleansing your skin helps to, of course, prevent acne. It helps to treat acne marks. It eliminates whiteheads as well as blackheads. Facial massage also promotes blood circulation. So this is another reason why it's really important, and it's a really great benefit to get facials. Facials also help to detoxify the skin. So it helps to take out a lot of the toxins that we get from just even day to day, just walking around. So let's see. The next slide. Actually, past this point, I'm sorry. Past the types of acids. So I wanted to talk about skincare routines. So a lot of people, I know usually just wash their face with bar soap or whatever they use on their body. But I just wanted to talk about cleansers and just different things that I feel like people should use on a day-to-day basis as far as a skincare routine. So a cleanser is a facial product that is used to remove makeup, dead skin cells, oil, dirt, and other types of pollutants that are in the skin and the face. This helps to unclog pores, and it prevents the skin conditions such as acne. So this is really, really great for people who, I think everybody should use cleansers, but it's especially great for people who have combination skin to oily skin. Soaps and body washes and cleansers do not actually, when it comes to body washes and cleansers, they do not contain the ingredient called sodium lauryl sulfate, which is known to be a common irritant. So this particular ingredient is what is found in soap. So bar soaps that we use, it could even be like Dove or whatever. This particular ingredient is something that can cause any type of skin irritant. I know sometimes people do use it, but it is better to use a cleanser. A cleanser is more moisturizing, it's hydrating, and it has your face, when you apply like a soap, it leaves almost like almost a not as clean feel. So it's just a little bit thicker, where I find that if you're using a cleanser, it gives more of a clean feel and more refreshed. Toners, which I love to use. You can use after you wash your face, of course, with a cleanser. It helps to close your pores, tighten cell gaps after cleansing. It reduces impurities, and it actually penetrates a little bit deeper into the skin level. So it helps with any type of environmental contaminants that go into the skin. So like I said, this does help to kind of any type of toxins that are going into the skin from every day, just walking around. This does help to kind of cleanse the skin a little bit further. Another reason why I like toners, think of toners as if you have, well, actually, I'm going to talk about serums next. I'll leave that for serums. It actually protects the skin, and it removes any type of chlorine and minerals that are present in tap water. So that's another reason why I do like toners, because we don't realize how much metal is in the water that we use, especially in the shower. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about was serums. Serums are a skincare product that you can apply to your skin after cleansing, but before moisturizer. So with the intent of, the moisturizer is with the intent of delivering a powerful ingredient directly into the skin. Serum is particularly suited to tasks because it is made up of smaller molecules that can penetrate deeper into the skin. So a serum is like a thinner layer. It penetrates faster than moisturizer. So this is something that if you want to get like a cell turnover very quickly, it's better to use a serum and apply that to your skincare regimen, because it helps to kind of turn over that skin. So if you're someone that has a little bit more problematic skin, maybe has any type of fine lines, wrinkling, aging, even pigmentation issues, a serum kind of helps to make that cell turnover faster, because it penetrates a lot quicker, because the molecules in the serum are a lot smaller, so it can get deeper into those layers of skin. And usually serums have a higher concentration of active ingredients, and this makes it a great tool for targeting specific skincare concerns, especially like aging. Serums can also, they have like a chock full of moisturizing ingredients, like the hyaluronic acids, like we spoke about very briefly, and that I showed in the previous slides, and ceramines. So this helps the skin to retain moisture, but doesn't make the moisturizer. But you still do need a moisturizer in the traditional sense, because face lotions and face creams and moisturizers are richer and create a barrier on top of the skin. So this helps to kind of protect and seal the skin on top when you do use a moisturizer. Eye creams are very important. I like to use eye creams just because I believe that the skin, and it is known for the skin to be 40% thinner in that area of the eye. And that's usually where you're going to see the first signs of aging. So you want to use eye creams specifically to target this area, because we usually tug on this area. And for the most part, like I said before, this is where you're going to start seeing a lot of the wrinkling first in that area. So I have like 5 different things that I believe like we should do every day to have really great skin. So that's exfoliating consistently. I think it's important that we exfoliate. Like I said, applying serums would be number 2 when your skin is still damp. Think about, you ever notice how smooth and soft your body feels when you use moisturizer, like after you get out the shower, and how much rougher it feels if you wait a little bit longer. So I believe that you should still have like somewhat damp skin when you apply your skincare, just because it helps to penetrate and to lock in the moisture. So it's almost like it's sealing it. It's the equivalent of what you do like when you wash your hair. You use shampoo, it strips your hair of all the dirt and oils and takes that out, but then you need the conditioner to put that back into the hair. So that's basically what serums and moisturizer do to your skin after you cleanse it. So the cleanser is almost like the shampoo for your face, and then the moisturizer and serums and creams are basically like the conditioner. So it kind of helps to put the good stuff back in and to seal it in. So number 3 would be to layer properly active ingredients like the retinol, vitamin E, your skincare. So it's really important in the way that you actually utilize your skincare. So again, like in this routine, the cleanser, toner, and serum, moisturizer, SPF in the daytime, cleanser, toner, serum, mask, moisturizer at the nighttime. So there's a reason why you want to apply this properly, because again, I spoke very briefly about how ingredients with larger molecules, like creams, they won't pass through as easily. So it's better to go from lighter consistencies to a thicker consistency, so that way you get the best results. And the smaller molecules, they will essentially block the later from entering. So if you use the larger ones first, it's going to be harder for the serums to penetrate and to work. And those actually work a lot faster because they're thinner and they can go through the skin layers. 4, steaming your face. So I know right now with this COVID moment that we're having, a lot of us are definitely using a lot more home remedies. Me being a Caribbean woman, I definitely am utilizing the steam treatment. I like to use my ginger and my lemon and my sea salt. And, some people utilize garlic and steam that. But steam is really great. If anyone's ever been to the esthetician, you'll notice that during your whole spa treatment, she or he is utilizing steam to kind of help to like keep your skin fresh. Your skin drinks up more of your skincare if you have high humidity and increased temperatures. So this is the reason why it's important to steam. This is the other reason why estheticians, often veil your face with steam or a hot towel before a facial. So, and 5, I would just find the best skincare system for yourself, depending on your skin type. So next would be the next, next slide, please. So makeup. So I'm going to go very, very, very briefly over color wheel, because of course makeup usually takes days and weeks sometimes for people to go over. So I'm just kind of go over basic things. The color wheel is something that we utilize do you have the next slide with the color wheel? Yeah, thank you. So with the color wheel, we have the primary colors. So primary color, as you can see, is the red, yellow, and blue, which means that there are no colors that actually make these colors. So the color wheel is what we like to use in makeup to organize. It's the organization of colors, hues in this round circle. It shows the relationship between the primary colors as well as the secondary colors and the tertiary colors. So the primary colors, like I said, are red, yellow, blue. The secondary colors are colors that you mix. You mix the primary colors together in order to get the secondary colors. And then the tertiary colors, those are colors that are steps between the primary colors. So those are colors like, for example, yellow, orange, red, purple, blue, purple, yellow, green, blue, green. So the reason why we utilize this as makeup artists is a lot of times people don't realize that, you know, with discoloration in people's skin, we can utilize this. For example, if let's say somebody has bruising, tattooing, or any type of discoloration, we can utilize the undertone of that color. We will use the opposite to kind of counterbalance and to make it go away with makeup. So for example, if somebody has more of like a blue undertone underneath their skin, like as far as bruising or something, we would utilize what would be the opposite, which would be orange on the color wheel to be able to cancel that. So a lot of times people who are a little bit more well-versed or they buy more makeup products, for example, if their under eyes are dark, they will utilize a orange corrector in order to balance the under eye, so it looks a little bit brighter and doesn't have that discoloration. So let's see. So I guess we can go over more questions with that like later. But now I did want to talk about a little bit highlighting and contouring, because that is something that I'm going to be doing. So you guys are going to see me in a few seconds where I am going to talk about highlighting and contouring. So highlighting, of course, is when you add a highlight to your face and you're pulling your face forward. So this is what this does, is that it makes those areas that you highlight more prominent. And contouring can be used to slim down the face, to, you know, have more of a oval shaped face. Just so you guys are aware, they've done studies all globally, and usually people are more attracted to oval shaped faces. So with that, that is the reason why we do contour. It's to give more of that oval shaped face, which is seen as a more beautiful shape. So you're going to use darker shades of makeup to kind of slim down areas where you want to push back and make less prominent. So utilizing highlighting and contouring, this dual approach, is a great way to pop out your cheekbones and to elongate your face and to enhance your natural beauty. So now I guess we'll do a little 15-minute makeup with me so you guys can see me finally. And I'm gonna do a little bit of highlighting and contouring on my face so you guys can see what I'm doing.
All right, let's get your... There you go.
Hi. Hi, everybody. So you guys are able to see me. So I am going to, I like to highlight first with concealer. So I just want you guys to see that. You see me now. I'm not really highlighted that much. So I'm going to apply some concealer onto a beauty blender. I don't know if you guys can see. So I have some concealer, and you're going to see me kind of highlight underneath my eye. I'm going to add a little bit on my nose. And I like to use concealer. Some people use foundation. I just prefer a brighter highlighted look underneath the eyes. It makes your eyes look a lot more open and refreshed. Let's see a little bit more. I like to put a little bit onto my forehead, a little bit in this area, because around as a woman of color, a lot of times as we get a little older or seasoned, like I like to say, we sometimes do get some discoloration around the mouth area. So I'm not sure if you guys can see, but it's a little bit brighter. I'm not gonna make it too bright, but I just wanted you guys to see that I'm kind of building, adding more dimension to my face. I had foundation on, and this is a way a lot of times when you do apply foundation, it kind of gives you more of a monochromatic look, which means it's just kind of like a dull look to the skin because the skin, of course, is just one shade. So I'm adding dimension so you can actually see my features come to life. I'm going to use a darker shade of foundation, and I'm going to use a brush, excuse me. So I'm using this foundation. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little bit deeper, but it's also in a tone that is not as warm, just because I actually have oily skin, and I find that when I use a darker tone that is more reddish, it's a little too red on my skin, because even though I am dark skinned, I have more of a darker olive skin tone. So right now what I'm doing is I am contouring my nose. And this is basically just kind of hollowing out the sides, to give more of a pronounced bridge. I do not like to make my nose too pronounced. I don't want to lose my ethnicity. So I'm taking it to kind of like the first Michael Jackson nose and not like the last one. So here we go. I'm also going to take a little bit of that foundation, and I'm going to apply a little along the hairline. So I like to call this like a halo contouring look. And what that does, it kind of keeps the center of my face brighter, and gives me more of a chiseled look. I am now going underneath my cheekbones, and a good way for people to remember how to do this process would be doing the number 3 on the side of the face. So like the number 3 is an easy way for you to remember like how to contour underneath the cheekbone. Another way is kind of making like a fish face. You can kind of get detail as to where that needs to see, so you can see. I don't like a very strong contour, just because I believe women of color are automatically naturally contoured, and we need to highlight more than we do need to contour. And the other reason is I don't like to see lines on the face. And as an industry standard makeup artist, the one thing that you will not see, and I'm not talking about like those reality stars, but on A-listers, you will never see like distinctive lines. It's always like a blurred effect on the skin where you can't tell where light and dark they kind of marry each other and they kind of blend. So it's not something where you see very hard lines, like you would see in a very Instagram or reality TV kind of makeup. So the same thing that you do with liquid foundation, you're going to always, any type of liquid or cream, you do want to follow with powder. So I am now going to take a powder brush, and let's see, I am going to utilize a powder in my skin tone to kind of set the foundation that I used. And you're going to take it, and because I would like more coverage, what you're going to do is kind of press it into the skin. So by pressing it into the skin and not doing a sweeping motion, doing a sweeping motion for women that like more of a natural look, that's better. For me, I like to be a little more painted. So I'm kind of excuse me, I'm kind of pressing this into the skin to give more of like that really finished look. The other reason is because I'm extremely oily, and I find that this kind of helps to keep my skin from being super shiny. All right, let's see. Now I am going to use a lighter shade of powder, and I am going to use this with another brush underneath my eyes, because remember I showed you guys that I use like a highlight concealer look underneath the eyes and in the center of my face. So as you notice, when I did powder, I did not powder the center of my face with the skin tone that was all over. I just did it really around the perimeter where the darker shade was. And now I'm just gonna powder with a lighter color to kind of set in the areas that I did not apply the darker powder. All right, so for the contoured look, now we're gonna contour with powder. So I'm going to use a shade that is pretty deep. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a lot darker. And this you guys should definitely be able to see. I'm using an angled, hold on, it's kind of hard for me to see. I'm using an angled brush, which kind of gives a little bit better angle to the cheekbone. So as you can see it. So I'm adding very generously so that way you guys can see how it can create a line on the face. And then I'm gonna kind of mimic where I also contoured around the perimeter. So this kind of gives, this type of contouring gives not only that oval shape, but it also will give a almost like sun-kissed look because it's a lot deeper. So I like to do kind of this motion and then I brush it upwards to kind of blend it out so it's not as harsh. But again, I'm allowing it to be a little bit harder than I usually wear, just so that way you guys can see it, because I know I don't have optimal lighting right now. All right. Now for doing the nose, I like to, like when you want to contour your nose, I'm going to use a smaller brush that's a little bit fluffier. And then you guys can actually see me applying here. So you can see it. So I'm following the same thing that I did with the foundation, just so you can see. And I always usually brush it into the eyebrow. Sometimes instead of using eyeshadow, I take that darker color or the contour color and use it within my, as almost like eyeshadow. This gives like a really nice look, more natural. I'm not really like an eyeshadow girl. So now I am going to use highlighting powder just so you guys can see. And usually I use like a powder that's a little bit more in the gold tone, but because of the lighting that we have, I am utilizing something a little bit more pronounced so that way you guys can see. So when you're highlighting, you definitely want to kind of wherever light would capture when you take a picture. So like the most highest points of the face, that's where you want to utilize highlighter. So for example, I'm putting it at the top of my cheekbone. I'm going to put a little bit on the tip of my nose, not too much because I hate that glowworm effect. And I'm going to dust off my brush and I will kind of blend downwards so you can see how that looks with the highlighter and the contour. So I am now going to use a little bit of blush, and the blush that I'm using, it also is kind of like has some color to it, but it's also light reflective, so it's a little more metallic. So whenever you utilize blushes that have more metallic properties to them, they usually are something that you can they're more of a wash of color, so it's not as prominent as like a matte blush, which I can show you what matte looks like. Matte is basically no shine, no metal to it. And so with this, I wanted more of a natural ethereal look. I'm going to use this basically in the apples of the cheek. I like a natural blush look just because I find that it's just for my skin tone. I mean, I'm not going to have rosy elf on the shelf cheeks, but this is definitely going to work. So the way to look at highlighting and contouring with blush, think of Neapolitan ice cream. So you have your strawberry, you have your vanilla, and you have your chocolate. So your vanilla is going to be on top, your strawberry is going to be in the middle, and your chocolate's on the bottom. So your chocolate would be your contour, your vanilla would be your highlight, and your strawberry would be where your blush is. So when you do this, this gives the optimal look to the cheek, a more three-dimensional cheek, and especially for someone who does not have prominent cheeks, this is a good way to kind of carve that out and to make it look very seamless and to make it more pronounced. So voila. Okay, so I think that we have some time for like question and answer. So I wanted to see if anybody wanted to ask any questions about the highlighting and contouring, or any questions about the skincare portion of this.
We have a question already in. We have a few questions from Noggin Sprouts in chat. I don't know if she wanted to read it or I could read it.
Sure.
The first question is, well, let her. Let me see. Did you want to read your question or answer your question?
Okay, sure. As you were doing your presentation, I was making a list of questions. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, cool.
So my first question on here is, what are your facial DIY suggestions? I have dry skin.
Okay, so for dry skin, I think it's really important to use oils. I even use oils, and I have oily skin because a lot of people don't realize like oils are still essential to your skin. So vitamin E is something that's extremely important. I like to use vitamin E oil, and the best thing is, of course, when you're using, when you have drier skin and you're utilizing cleansers, you want to use anything moisturizing, anything that is kind of not gives you a squeaky clean feel. You want something that's going to add moisture. So for your cleansers especially, you want something that's going to basically put almost like a film of moisture onto your skin. So you want to use like kind of products that contain like milk or turn into a milk, like oil that with water it emulsifies and turns into almost like a cream. But you do not want to use anything that has like a gel to it. So things that are creamier or that have more of a slip to it are better for dry skin.
What do you think of witch hazel as a toner?
Okay, so.
Oh no, I use it every day.
And that's why your skin is dry. That's why your skin is dry. Just to be honest, what happened, witch hazel, I mean, for some people who use it, it's great because they've been using it for years, and I get it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm definitely somebody that believes in that. But witch hazel, what it does is that it strips your skin of its natural oils. So it's almost like all the oils that you have sitting on top of your skin, or even stuff that's just like topically, like you're actually taking it off and you're making it drier, which is also what causes the first signs of aging. You start wrinkling, and we don't want that. We want to keep it sexy as long as we can, right?
Okay,
So
that's going in the trash.
yes, no more witch hazel. Give it to somebody else.
What about coconut oil if I don't have vitamin E on hand?
Oh yeah, coconut oil is amazing. But also keep in mind that coconut oil is very thick, depending on how dry your skin is. Like for example, if I was to use coconut oil in my skin, I would look like a crunch bar by the next day because my skin is that oily. So with that being said, coconut oil is great. I like natural products too. For skin. So coconut oil, I know some people that do face masks that they utilize, even avocado. You can use that on your skin, as a mask, because it does have vitamin E and it does have like those trans fats and stuff. So, which is good.
Okay, so I'll try that. My other
Yeah.
question was, when you started with what was that thing that you were doing on your nose, like the contouring? Did you have a
Yes.
base?
Did I have a base foundation on first?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always do my base foundation first, and then I do the highlighting and contouring after. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What products do you use?
I use all different products. I'm not gonna lie. I am definitely the department store makeup girl. I like high-end products. I mean, there's nothing wrong with stuff that you find, of course. I think like Sephora, stuff like that. Those are great. I love like Pat McGrath. I actually worked for MAC for 17 years, so I was with them for a while. So there's certain products of theirs that I do like, but there are certain products that I cannot use from them just because they contain a lot of mineral oil, and for me, mineral oil for my skin type does not do well. And it actually, I have more acne prone skin, so I have to be careful of the types of oils that I use on my skin.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Did anyone else have any? Oh, I see. I guess Raphael, did you have a question? I think she's having some mic trouble, so I'll read her question. She says, "Since we are all at home, besides steaming, what are some natural things we can use for do-it-yourself?"
Okay. Okay, so like I said, I think like the steaming is really great, and I've been seeing like great results for myself using doing steaming. Steaming is great for all different types of skin types. It definitely helps to put hydration back into the skin. So that's something that you can do at home, like boiling water and using sea salt. I use ginger root, like fresh ginger root in the solution. I also apply lemons. You can I definitely feel like when you're doing that, it kind of helps to open up the skin and puts more moisture back in the skin. It helps to make the fine lines appear a little bit smaller, as well as the texture of the skin. So, for example, like me, because I have oily skin, I don't know if you can see, but I have larger pores. So this has been helping to kind of close off my pores and to make my skin a lot more supple, as well as just tighter, which is good for me. So that's something that you can do. Homemade masks, there's a lot of D, DIYs that you can find online for your skin type. It's kind of hard for me to say which items are for which person because, of course, everybody has their own skin type. So I would probably go online and maybe Google some things or go on Pinterest and look up some different things that you can utilize on your skin. But avocado is definitely something that's good. Coconut oil is definitely something that can be great used in daytime and nighttime. The other thing is when you're using skincare at nighttime, just know that you should not be using skincare that has sunscreen to it at night because sunscreen is better for the day, of course, and it has different types of it has titanium and just other ingredients to it that are not great because your skin actually that's when it turns over at nighttime and you don't want that going into your skin. So It's very important what you do in the nighttime because that's when your skin actually turns over.
Okay, excellent. Does
Mhm.
anyone else have any questions about skin, about color, about makeup, home remedies? If so,
Oh, I do have something to say. I'm sorry.
okay, hold on for 1 second.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Is there a question?
I was waiting to see. No question.
Okay. So another thing that I didn't speak about when it comes to the color wheel, that's also a great way for you to figure out what color eyeshadows work best with your eye color. So if you're somebody who has brown eyes, looking at colors that are complementary, which are colors that are on the opposite side of the spectrum of the wheel. So that's a good way for you to know which colors are going to help to pop your eye color, your skin tone. This is also a great thing to utilize for when you are going out and you're dressing and you want to use complementary colors to your outfit. So for example, if you're wearing something that is again like blue and you may want to use warmer tones on your skin tone, like an orange or red colors, to kind of pop out the blue in your outfit.
Okay, awesome.
Mhm.
Are there any other questions? Okay, I'm looking to see. Anyone have any questions for Yasmine? Okay. This is not really my area, right? But I always, oh wait, I think I see Dana. Dana, did you have a question?
Hi, thank you so
Hi.
much for this tutorial. I really enjoyed it. I wanted
Thanks.
to ask a question in
Sure.
reference to the color wheel. However,
Mm-hmm.
you did, because I never seem to get my colors from my eyes correctly, so I just kind of just stick neutral.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to apply it very well, but I love warm colors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Yeah.
darker
Yeah, we
tone.
look like we're like the same skin tone, I
Yeah,
think.
the same
Yeah.
tone. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that picture? You can see that
Yes,
picture.
girl. Okay, you
Thank you. Sorry,
cute. Thank you.
but I never wear shadows correctly. And
Okay.
I don't know how to. I buy brushes, and
Okay.
I noticed that you did say. I guess my question is kind of ongoing.
I've
It was
got a
about
whole bunch of brushes here, so if you have questions, just let me know. We can go over.
the
Uh,
brushes. I guess I can just. Can I just email you or something? Because
sure,
it's about the.
absolutely. But
Okay,
you
I'll
can ask me some questions on here. I think we have a few moments, so if you whatever questions you have, I'm here to answer them.
Okay, for my eyes, can you just
Mm-hmm.
kind of show me a couple of the brushes that I should be using for like the corners of my eyes and to angle when I
Okay,
do?
sure.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm gonna just go over like for example, just so you can see the difference, so that way you can see. This is what these people do during those tutorials, right? So you can see. All right. So for example, this is a flatter brush, right? So
Okay,
a flat brush like this will
okay,
apply a lot more color. So for example, this is not going to be a color. This is not going to be a brush that you blend with. This is going to be a brush that you apply color with. So let me actually get some eyeshadow so you can see what I'm doing and it'll make sense. So I will.
That's a whole other class. I need that information.
No, I know.
I use my fingers.
I was trying to tell Kashab, I was like, honestly, you have to understand, like, makeup is so intricate, and I know a lot of times it's better to do like Q&A as we go along. And I mean, we can always do like a second class with this, but I just want you guys to see what I'm doing. So, for example, I like to do just metallic, or you can do a matte, but just so you can see. As you can see, like I applied the color, right? And I don't like eyeshadow past the crease point, which is usually the like where your eye socket is. So you don't really want to have eyeshadow that goes past that point, because then it starts becoming very editorial and it starts to look bad. So now I'm going to take a deeper shadow, and I'm going to use a shadow that when you're doing like a like your crease, you want to use something matte. So now I'm using this brush, which is a fluffier brush. A fluffy brush that is like longer hairs basically allow you to blend. So that's the reason why you want to use something that is a blending brush in order to kind of lay the color, but it also will, so I'll do like the regular V, right? So you can see, okay. So you can see how that kind of gives that look automatically. Another thing that you can do is like a halo. So if like, for example, this is like a quick way to do a really good smoky eye is by applying that darker shadow also on the other corner of the eye. And that corner, this kind of gives it, this is called a halo eye. So this is a quick way of doing, I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. No problem. And whatever you do to the top of your eye, you should follow on the bottom. So for example, if you do smoky eyes, you take the remnants of that brush and you kind of smoke it out on the bottom. And I don't know why whenever you do your eyes, you always have to like open your mouth. I don't know. It's just kind of like this big thing, right? It's like automatically. I guess it's like a defense mechanism. Your eyes automatically does that. But you see the difference in this eye as opposed to this eye. Yes. Okay. No problem. All right. Any more questions?
And for anyone that, we're doing the 1 hour, but we plan on also doing some workshops on all of the different presenters that are willing to join us. We're willing to do longer workshops, some maybe 5 days, some maybe 7, some maybe 10 in particular areas. So we may do a workshop for body, for health. We may do a workshop for mind. So whatever you don't gather in 1 hour, there'll be the option to be able to learn some other things in the months to come. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Yasmine's information. But while I do that, Yasmine, if you have anything,
I enjoyed you guys today. Thank you so much for like all of the questions. I actually am going to speak to Kashab later, and we will find out. I guess as far as the workshop is concerned, please tell your friends so that way we can go ahead. This is some of the work that I've done, so you guys can see. Yeah, I think this will be great to do something where I can kind of go over everything from the type of foundations to we can do maybe like skin one day where it's just like the basics of foundation. And we could do eyes and color another day. I think that would be a great way to kind of like go in a little bit deeper, especially now since we are all in this corona moment, this COVID moment. We have time at home, and this is a good way to sharpen up everybody's skills. Actually, my phone number is I have a different number.
Okay.
So, but that is my email address, guys. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is MUA. My handle is MUA Yasmine. So it's my first name. So it's MUA, one word, Yasmine. So, but my phone number, I guess you can email me and I can forward you that information.
Excellent. Well, Yasmine, that was a good presentation. I hope that everyone gained something valuable from it.
Yes.
Talk, make arrangements. Thank you so much for well put together.
Thank you.
So tomorrow is going to be our last day of body. So stay tuned, look in your email or look on our social media page for information on that. And then we will go into spirit beginning on the 21st. And we have some great information there for you as well. So have a great Sunday. Please tell everyone that you know about 30 Day Redemption's fan page on Facebook. And for whoever is missing out, share with them, share, 30dayredemption.com. Tell them to sign up so that everyone is getting what you're getting. All right. Have a great day. We'll talk tomorrow.